Hello friends, welcome to our craft video for this week. As you can see, I am celebrating the nice snowy wintry weather we've been having with some shiny blue fingernail polish. I'm very excited about it. And today we are going to make snowflakes, and these snowflakes are extra special. We're going to use some science and we're going to make snowflakes that glitter and sparkle and have crystals all over them. So the first thing you'll need is a jar or a cup with some very hot water. You want it to be pretty much boiling. If you are younger, you should ask a grown-up for help with this project. If you are older, you should still be careful and let a grown-up know what you're doing, so that they know you are doing this project. We've got our hot water in our jar. In your kit, you have some pipe cleaners, you have some borax, and you have directions. Now, borax is kind of like laundry detergent. It's something you add to laundry detergent to make it work better. It makes really beautiful crystals. Be very careful not to get this in your mouth or in your eyes. That's another thing that you should have a grown-up around to supervise for, because this is not the kind of stuff you want to get in your mouth or your eyes. All right, we'll carefully open up our bag. I'm going to fold down the top like this so that I can scoop easily. And I'm going to put this aside for now. And what you're going to do is 1 spoonful at a time, we're going to add our borax to our water. And now the borax is going to dissolve, which means it won't, I got a piece of paper in there. You might end up with a piece of paper too. If it's okay, just pull it out. So as you can see, the water's getting cloudy from the borax, but you can't see any of the little borax grains anymore. It looks like just kind of cloudy water. So that's what we want. We want to keep adding our borax a spoonful at a time and stirring to help it dissolve until we can't anymore. Now, when you mix something into water like this and it dissolves, it becomes what's called a solution, which means you can't separate the parts out without doing something special like letting it dry or adding another chemical to it. So we're making a borax and water solution. And what we want to create with our borax in this water is what's called a supersaturated solution. And a supersaturated solution means you can't dissolve any more borax into your water. So you'll keep adding borax and stirring and adding borax and stirring, and eventually you'll get to a place, I think I'm almost there, where when you put the borax in, I'm only gonna do like half a spoon this time and stir it up. Eventually you're gonna get to a place where the borax won't dissolve anymore, and you're kind of still getting grains of it down at the bottom of your jar, no matter how much you stir. And at that point, the water will look very cloudy like this, because I have got it. And if you listen carefully, when I tap down at the bottom, there's a little crunchy noise. That means I have my super saturated solution. We're gonna let that sit off to the side for a bit while we make our snowflake. Now, snowflakes are what's called symmetrical. And symmetrical means that they're a mirror image of each other. So my 2 hands sitting like this on the table are symmetrical. If my hands are a flat piece of paper and I folded it in half, both of the halves would match. So snowflakes like this one, this sample one I made, You can fold them down the middle, but they also have what's called radial symmetry. And that's a big word. And radial symmetry means that if you sliced this like a pie and stacked all those slices on top of each other, those slices would all match each other as well. So to make a snowflake, you want 6 matching arms going all the way around. We also want to make sure that our snowflake will fit into our jar or cup without touching the sides or the bottom. So what I like to do is I measure just by eye how wide my jar is, and then I make it a little shorter than that. There we go. See, that piece will slide very nicely into my jar, and I will make 1, 2, 3 pieces of pipe cleaner that are about that long, and I will twist them together in the middle, and I will make sure that all my little arms are sticking out. There we go, we have the start. If you wanted to stop there and just make your snowflake plain like that, that's fine. Or you can cut 6 very short little pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make sure these are the same length, 6. All right. And I'm making my snowflake pretty small because my jar isn't very big. If you have a bigger jar that you want to use, you can absolutely make bigger snowflakes. And that's why you have 2 pipe cleaners, is in case you need more pipe cleaner to make big snowflakes. And I'm gonna make the little V's for my snowflake by wrapping these short pieces around my big pieces and then kind of fanning them out to make a Y shape. I didn't do very well with this one. Let's untwist this one and do it again. That's the good thing about pipe cleaners. If you don't like how they end up twisted together, you can always do it again. All right, so spread those out nice and wide. And now you can see all these little fuzzy bits are coming off of my snowflake. That's okay if that's happening with yours too. That's something that happens with pipe cleaners. But all the fluffy bits that stick out from the pipe cleaner, that's what's going to give our crystals places to grow. So now that we have our super saturated solution, all of those little grains of borax want to reform into crystals. And crystals like to form on a base, or they like to have some sort of support. So each little teeny tiny furry piece, little furry hair on your pipe cleaner is going to be the base for a crystal, which is pretty cool. All right, there we have it. I have my snowflake. I've done radial symmetry. So if I folded this in half, it would be symmetrical, or if I took this part and put it on top of here, it would be symmetrical. I'm gonna take some string and I'm going to make a loop for my snowflake, and this will just make it so that I can hang it in my jar, and so that I can put it up later. I can hang it up as a decoration. What I did is I tied a loop already. I'm gonna trim those ends, and I'm going to put that loop around this arm of my snowflake. There we go. Now, these loops, what I might do is tangle it up in the, just tangle it up in that piece. Now, I recommend you use thread or another kind of smooth string to make your loops, because, and this is kind of important, just like the crystals are going to form on the little hairs from your pipe cleaners, crystals will form on your hanging string if it has hairs or fibers like that. So you want something smooth like this string or like thread instead of something that has its own little places for crystals to grow, like say yarn has a lot of little places for crystals to grow. If that's okay with you and you want your hanger to have some crystals on it too, you can do it that way. Or you can use something smooth and they won't form as much on something smooth. So there we go. I'm going to use my spoon for this bit. Slide my hanger right onto my spoon. Dip, dip, dip my snowflake into my solution. And it will hang there. I recommend leaving it overnight. When I made this one, it was almost finished within an hour or two, but it's also very small. So I would leave it for at least an hour to make sure you've got crystals starting to grow. And overnight if you want it to be absolutely super duper covered in crystals. And then you end up with something like this. Now these are a little bit fragile. And just like with our borax powder, you don't want to get your crystals here in your eyes or in your mouth. And if pieces fall off, you should throw them into the trash right away. But if you're careful and you're gentle with them, you have a beautiful snowflake ornament to hang up. And I hope you enjoy this very sciencey winter experiment. And I will see you next time. Bye!